What's the story, guys? Just doing another scenic stream here. I might have to pause this every now and again because the wind's picking up and it's making a complete nightmare with the sound. So if you see random jumps, that's what's happening. I'm doing it this way because I want to cover the absolute shitstorm that's developed now of the whole Last of Us 2 debacle. And with the way Naughty Dog and Sony have been acting, I don't want to risk even just putting a thumbnail of the picture of that game in here because they've been striking people down left, right and centre. I mean, to give you a brief lift, Geeks and Gamers have been hit, the Quartering's been hit, as from Hill versus Babyface. I'm not even sure about Neurotic at this stage, but there's literally about 8 or 9 guys dead. There's a guy called RK Outpost. He's only an up-and-comer and he's got 2 strikes in his channel already, so 1 more and he's gone. This has basically been in effect since about Friday. I left it this long because there had been developments going on. A few of the lads have got the strikes taken down, but they still got claims against the video for copyright infringement. And there's a lad called Mr. Boombox has actually lost his channel completely, although in fairness in his case he actually just uploaded all the leaked footage without actually changing anything, so that is a copyright strike. Yeah, gonna go down for that. The backlash against this has been huge. I mean, literally tens of thousands of people are downvoting Neil Druckmann's video where he was trying to talk about the game. Druckmann, in case you're wondering, is the head guy in Naughty Dog who's behind the direction shift that's gone with the last one. But we're essentially seeing full-on war between people on YouTube and Sony and Naughty Dog. There's plenty of channels out there if you just want to cover the issue. Just search for yourself The Last of Us 2 and you can get caught up to speed on the whole affair. I want to take a little different of a tack though on this one, because I think a lot of people have missed what's actually really going on here, or rather an aspect of the whole situation that's not being broached on. What we're actually seeing here is an attack on the press, because that's what YouTube is. The CNNs, the MSNBCs, in my country, the Irish Times and the RTEs would be loath to admit it, but the truth is, being a member of the press isn't a providence of some multinational conglomeration, and it's not the gift of some university. It's actually anybody who has the ability to scroll their screen on a bit of board backwards, slather it in ink, push it down a bit of paper and give it to somebody. That's publishing. That's what makes you a member of the press. That's why anytime you hear these guys lately, they've been going about trusted authoritative resources that you have to listen to, because they can't discredit you as a member of the press, because that's what you are. And your opinion is just as valid as Tom Brokaw's or anyone else's. So while people are rightly pissed about what's going on about themselves and how much it's cost them financially, this is actually the attack on the free press. I think we really need to highlight that what Sony's doing and what Naughty Dog's doing, attempting to put down debate on a issue purely because it affects them monetarily. So what I'd encourage you lot to do is, if you're bothered by what's going on, make your own videos. If you're a YouTuber, get it out there, put it up on what you think about this issue. Do it in a way which they can't copyright strike at all, because there's nothing they can do about it. It's just you doing what I'm doing right now, making your opinion known. And I use the word free press deliberately. It's not a coincidence that the Polygons, the Kotakus and the IGNs of the world haven't been talking about all these DMCA strikes, and it's not because it's just a bunch of YouTubers they're talking about. It's because these guys aren't free. They are reliant on relationships they have with Sony and Naughty Dog for information. They're compromised, and that's not like a conspiracy, that's just reality. And it's not a coincidence that they didn't say a word about what was going on until Sony made a statement in which we suddenly had 25 articles all appear at the exact same time, using pretty much the exact same language to describe how the whole thing was behind hackers and how they know who it is, despite the fact that they're not willing to name anyone. I mean, I'll give you an example about this compromising. We had a major scandal in my country a couple of years back in relation to the police force, the Gardaí. There was literally millions of penalty points being put on books that didn't exist. That was all about making each department look better. A guard in the police force blew the whistle and basically got attacked from all sides. I mean, they were hanging rats from his door. They tried to smear him as a paedophile. They did everything they could to destroy this guy's credibility. But everything he said turned out to be true. And when this story broke, all the major security correspondents in the country went on holiday at the same time. I'm talking like the paper record of my country is the Irish Times, and it was the religious affairs correspondent covering this story. Why was that happening? Because he knew that if he'd covered the story, it would make all the people he relies on for contacts and for information, for leaks, think twice about ever coming near him again. These are guys he would have been relying on years, that he built up over an extended period of time in order to secure sources when he wants to write stories. So he wasn't going to take a chance on that, and he went off on holidays, and as I said, left the religious affairs correspondent to cover the biggest scandal in security in this country in decades. So that's exactly what's going on here too. All these lads in Kotaku, all these guys in Polygon, they're not opening their mouth because they might rely on Sony at some stage in order to get a story out, which, because if they don't have that, just puts them in the exact same situation as you and me just talking about stuff on the internet. So like I said, that's why they're not talking about what's going on YouTube, DMCAs, and that's why suddenly there was 25 articles all pretty much parroting the exact same line coming out at the exact same time. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't trust the mainstream news or anything like that. I'm just saying, remember, these guys are compromised in certain situations, just like I've illustrated earlier. So basically what I'm saying is just take everything they say with a grain of salt. Get as much information from as many places as possible and draw your own conclusions. I mean, hell, the financial crisis and the housing crisis should have taught you that sort of stuff 10 years ago anyway. But like I said, there's millions on the lines here. That's why Naughty Dog's acting this way. They've had 70% turnover of staff. The person who wrote all their best stuff have been fought out. That Amy Hennig, she was the girl behind the original story in The Last of Us that got messed around with in the DLC and had nothing to do, as far as I know, with the Last of Us 2, which is now completely Druckmann's baby. So there's an enormous amount riding on them for that particular company and for Sony themselves. So it's not a huge leap to think that with the mainstream press in gaming in their pocket, that it's just the YouTubers that they got to worry about, which is why they're coming after them. So like I said, they're free press in the sense that they're not beholden to anybody. Does that mean they're an impeccable resource you should all rely upon? No, like I said, question everything. But they're not compromised like the lads working in Kotaku and Polygon and IGN. And there does seem to be an awful lot behind these leaks that has confirmed an awful lot of fears about where this game's direction is going. And it does make you wonder why they want to silence these guys if there's nothing in it. So there you go, guys, just a short video I wanted to do today on this subject. Sorry it was so late, but you can hear it. It's been bad to get out in order to do this. I can't really do it at home now. It took me about half an hour just to do 6 minutes of footage thanks to the wind. If you like this video, like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Like I was saying to you, do your own videos on this issue, get this out there as much as possible, because we shouldn't stand for this. You know, like if the mainstream lads ain't going to talk about it, it's only going to be less the people like us. So get your voices up there, let you know what you think about this situation. Throw a subscription to the other channels that are covering this, you know, because it does take guts when you've got a multinational corporation coming after you with all their lawyers. Look after yourself and take care. Bye bye.